are we all thinking on the same lines? Do we know where we're coming from then? We're looking for you on a Barocca day, you on a really good day. You want to communicate a message and talk to the camera rather than you as a little bit, don't really want to be here, not too sure of myself, don't like it. That's not what's going to really work well on the camera. Making sense? Super. Okay, we're going to move on now to specific camera techniques so that even when you do get up here and you've got a few little nerves and you've got some of those butterflies, you don't necessarily project that through the actual camera itself, and you can still look really, really confident. So the first thing, which hopefully I've pretty much been doing, and I think most people were doing it, is to simply stand still. If you stand still when you're talking to the camera, when you're talking in a live environment, it just looks like you have a much better control of what you're doing and a much better confidence of what you're doing than if you were doing this. And you are going, hi, welcome to the show. What we've got is, and if I was doing this all the time, it's slightly distracting and just takes away, and it just shows that I'm not 100% confident in what I'm doing. Now, every single rule that I give you in these tips, there's an exception to. And the exception to this is if you want to move, you move with purpose. So that might be, I'm going to move over here because I want to show you this. So of course I'm going to move. I'm going to have to move. Yeah? Or the movement might be, I'm going to move to this part of the studio or the stage or whatever I'm doing because I simply fancy moving over here. But it was a conscious decision. I did it because I wanted to, and it wasn't a random sort of, what you find is people do this, and what most people do, first of all, is when it comes to a take, right at the beginning, they'll be standing really nice and still, and then they'll go, hello, welcome to today's show, and they'll shift their weight immediately. Don't get me wrong, people aren't going to say, right, can we stop the program, let's close down the channel because you made a little shift. That's not good. It's not. But if you're doing like an hour on TV and you're constantly moving backwards and forwards and wobbling around and shifty, it just doesn't look like you're as professional and in control as you can do if you stand a bit stiller. It's the same when you sat down. The last thing you want to be doing is fidgeting around and shifting your weight and crossing your legs down, uncrossing your legs and sitting at angles and stuff. So keep your back nice and straight. Bump to the back of the chair and then either cross your legs or whatever you want. But just anchor yourself from the waist down. From the waist up, you're moving. You can move your hand, you can twist and move your hand, gesticulate. Yeah, we like that a lot. Keep all that in. But the first little tip is simply to stand still or anchor yourself. Oh, somebody's phone. Sorry. Goodness. That's £25, isn't it? If it goes, it's probably gone up by now. At £35 if a mobile phone goes, I better make sure mine's off. No, I'm only joking. So the first thing is just to simply stand still. The next thing that makes us look confident when we're talking to somebody is what? Where do we look when we're talking to somebody? In their eyes, yeah. The eyes are the windows to the soul, darling. What happens if I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to Sophie and I keep sort of looking off there like that, and when I'm talking to you, I'm like that. What feeling do you get? Not focused? Yeah, maybe.
Too focused on eyes.
That's true.
The person feels uncomfortable.
That's true as well.
I sometimes find if someone's talking to me and I keep looking somewhere else, I find myself then looking where they're looking.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Looking at them anymore, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes, obviously, if you're thinking, you can look away because, as you said, looking at someone permanently is a bit sort of off-putting, I think.
Yeah, it can be. I think in a live situation like this, if we were sat across a table and I was glaring at you, then yeah, that would be, yeah, he's a bit of a weirdo. But I think people, when they're watching TV, they're aware that you can't see them. So I don't think they're going to be too worried about that particular issue. More so for me is just having shifty eyes. If you're looking away, like if I'm talking to Ashley now, if I look up there, one, he probably got a good idea of what's up there because he came into the room and sort of assessed the situation when he came in. If it really bugs him, guess what? He can just look round and go, what's he looking at? And that's it. There's no issue. On TV, though, your audience is aware that they can't do that, and it can start to look like there's something going on off camera when you're looking at a floor manager, perhaps, or what are they doing, what's going on. And as soon as you start to not alienate, but not include your audience, you start to make them feel a bit left out, not included in what's going on, it can only take away from your professionalism, from your strong presentation. So the more you can get it right, the more you can keep your eyes solid on that lens, the absolute better. Of course, there are exceptions, and somebody's already said, sometimes you look away from thought. You know what? Again, if you were to do that once, nobody is going to shut down the channel. But if you keep doing it every few seconds, it gets distracting. So really strong eyes on the lens is something that we just have to really get used to. If the audience can see it, or they know it's there, then that's not going to exclude them if you look at it. So for example, if I had something in my hand and I looked at it, if it's on screen, they can see what I'm looking at. There's no issue there. It's not a problem. They can see it as well. If I say, a bit later on, we're going to be talking to Carol, who's done lots of presenting all around the world. It's going to be an interesting conversation. And I look at her, but it's okay because I'm verbally telling them what I'm looking at. And I'm not excluding the audience. Never exclude the audience of what's going on. And in fact, really, in this day and age, most TV, which is light-hearted, which is light entertainment, even if something were drastically to go wrong, I mean, if you can imagine if they're working on shopping channels or GMTV, anything like that, if something went wrong and there was a bulb went or somebody fell over or tripped over a cable or something like that, do you know what they'd do? They'd go, oh, that was Gary, our production guy, just tripping over if you heard that noise, and they'd carry on like nothing had happened. We're not the BBC of 1940. Hello, and welcome to the BBC. And it's sort of like they used to try and project this cleaner than cleaner image of perfection in their presenting. It's not what we really do anymore now. It's far more chatty, it's far more natural, just talking to your best friend, really. Yeah? So eyes on the lens as much as you possibly can. If you look off, don't worry about it, but always just challenge yourself to keep your eyes on that lens as much as you possibly can. And you know what? I found as well, when I was going around doing auditions and screen tests all the time, what I found is when I'd walk into a room like this, and it was full of casting directors and producers and directors and everything, I used to get, ooh, this is all a bit scary, to be quite honest. And it is a bit scary, let's be honest. So I'd come in, and the only thing that I was accustomed to, the only thing that made me go, oh, I know what I'm doing, was that lens. Because I was so used to talking to it that rather than the camera being this scary thing to fear, it was like a safety blanket. It was like, okay, there's the lens, kind of know what I'm doing now. Because it's a mental trigger as soon as you see that lens to get that little kick of excitement and go, oh, here we go. So eyes on the lens and use it as a tool that's going to help you. We've already spoke about having that energy and enthusiasm, but anybody heard the term up on three? Okay, you might hear it in the industry. The general way that a shoot might go is we'd have the camera here. Let's turn this around, make it look real as possible. And it will be something like this. Okay, standing by then, please, everybody. Here we go. In 10 seconds, 9, 8 seconds. In 5 seconds. In 4. That's your cue to go. Yeah? Easy as that. From 3, it's a silent count. There's no verbal acknowledgement on the studio floor, simply because we don't want to catch the floor manager going 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You're on. Start. We don't want to catch that on our take. Yeah? In the same way, we don't want to catch you finding that frame of mind that we were speaking about earlier on. We don't want to catch you looking at the floor manager, kind of like this, 3, 2, 1, hello, and just a complete transition or change right from the start. Because people will go, well, that's just a put on for the camera. So from standby, what we're really looking at is for you to get in the right frame of mind. And that's where it says up on 3 is up the energy, up that persona that we were talking about. So you're ready to go. So as I said, I usually do it on standby. So when I hear standby, I'm ready to go like this. Hello, welcome to today's show. And we're off. There's no transition to start off with. It's the same at the other end. We don't want you to go, well, that's it for today's show. Do join us again tomorrow where we'll be doing lots more fun stuff. Fun stuff. We'll see you then. And then just change immediately. Because, again, they'll think, well, what was that? The whole thing was just fake then. Because it just cut. So whatever your last thought is, just hold that last thought. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye for now. Cut and clear. Bang. And then you're off. Okay? So you just hold that last thought in your head. Is this all making sense? Good. The next thing is, do you think you ever make a mistake when you're presenting? All the time. Yeah. How many mistakes have I made so far this morning?
5,000.
Yeah. You're not far wrong, actually.
About 2.
You reckon 2? Yeah, 3? You know, I don't even know. But the fact is that when I do make a mistake, what do? Just carry on like I really couldn't care less. And you know what? Actually, I don't really care. To be honest, if I fumble my words or I do something wrong and I just carry on with a little smile in my face, people are empathising and they're going, oh, you know, that Laura, she's always doing that. And they'll carry on watching and they won't care either. If you stop and go, oh, sorry I did that, I'm so sorry, I'll try ever so hard not to next time. It's like people are sitting there going, oh my goodness, this is horrible. This is just like we're watching somebody suffer on stage or in front of the camera. It makes you feel dreadful. So when you cock up with confidence, like you couldn't care less. And if you do that, then we don't care less either. Okay? And finally, really, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't take it too seriously. Unless, of course, it is, you know, hardline news broadcasting, reporting from some dreadful event, then give it, you know, your behaviour changes to adapt to whatever you're doing. My behaviour is different when I'm in a job interview than it would be if I was at a party or out down the pub with a few mates, or if I'm having lunch with my mum and dad. My behaviour is slightly different. Still me, being me, but I just adapt to the situation. And that's what you do with your presenting. It's still you being you, but if it's a serious point, then you just tone it down. If it's a light-hearted subject, then smile and have fun with it and laugh. Because if you're laughing and enjoying it, and you look like you're having fun on camera, guess what? People watching it as well, you'll find them just having a little smile on their face. And that's all you're doing. When you're making people empathise with you, you're not looking for the belly laughs. You're not looking to get people at home rolling around laughing. All you're looking to do is to get people at home to be interested in what you're doing and go, yeah. If they do that, the smallest reaction to what you're doing, then they are there. You've got them, you're communicating with them because they're either just, you know, making some sort of movement or acknowledgement of what you're doing. And that's all you're after. You're not after the belly laughs or anything like that. You're just trying to communicate with those people who are your types of people. So all making sense? Yeah? Okay, good.